gotta wait till everybody knows.
I call this regular meeting of the Wetzel County Board of Education to order. We will begin with the opening with Mr. Castello leading the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Okay, the first thing that we have to do tonight are recognitions of Hannah Sapp, getting her AP Seminar English, Kayla Semple, AP Pre-Calculus, and Michael Harworth, AP Chemistry.
So I have to say, I don't think Michael's here, but these two young ladies went above and beyond and did the AP certification for us this summer, which means they are now certified to teach AP. And that is a separate course that they have to go through to be able to do that. So we are very proud and very thankful of your dedication.
Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, next, I am going to move the delegations up to the next thing, as there may be something that we'll be voting on that could be a person as a delegate. First of all, is there a Mark Myers here? Okay. All right, then our next person is Rebecca McLean. Counselor at Magnolia, Policy IKA.
I will not be a long dog. If my fingers would work. I think there's two there. This is just my little graphics. I have
Okay, before you start, just a reminder that you have 3 minutes to speak. All of your thoughts should be directed to the board and not to the audience. And please do not make anything personal.
Good evening, my name is Rebecca McLean. I am one of the school counselors at Magnolia. I would like to briefly share my thoughts on policy IKA. I'm fully in favor of the proposed change. I do have one suggestion, and that's what the handout's for. Instead of using the terms highest honors, high honors, and honors, I recommend adopting the summa cum laude, magna cum laude, and cum laude. These terms align with the language used by colleges and universities, and I believe they carry a more prestigious and academically recognized connotation. And so that's what that is. I use the exact same GPA based on what highest honors, high honors, and honors are. That's it.
Okay, thank you. We can't discuss that with you now, but if it's discussed later on, we can do that. Thank you very much. That's it for the all right, next thing is Superintendent's Information, number 3.
Okay, the first thing I want to make sure that everyone knows is busing. So we've been working on this, and Teresa's been working on this, and the bus drivers. Currently, we don't have any sub-bus drivers. I know we did report that we had 3, but we've had some retirements, and so those sub bus drivers are now gonna have full-time jobs, which is good for them, but now we're back to we don't have subs. With that being said, I think all this coming week, after I spoke with Teresa, the bus drivers are working the routes to make sure. There are a few routes that are within our limitations to not have to go up a run if there's not very many children. And the thought is on those, if we can have the help, and I actually talked to a mom today about helping us get the child to the bus stop. So if we do have a bus driver that's out, we're gonna have to have other drivers help pick up, because we do not wanna go through what we went through last year when we didn't get kids to school. So our goal this year is to make sure every kid gets to school, but you may hear a little bit about some of the runs we will not be going up, and we're working on that as well. So it's kind of a work in progress. 2 miles is the state minimum.
State code.
That we could not travel that. We've looked at some of the roads and the, how well they are or how safe they are for our buses to travel. So we are trying to work with our parents on that, but number one thing is we need to try to get everybody to school.
May I ask a question about transportation, even though it's got nothing to do with what you just mentioned?
Sure.
Do we have any idea, this might be a guess on anybody's part, what's going on Route 2 at the 4-lane, and how that's gonna,
Who knows?
excuse me?
Who knows?
You have
They're
no-
gonna put an overpass in there. So,
How's the traffic pattern gonna?
I don't know if they've even decided that yet. I
just-
think we'll find out probably next week when school starts.
I just wondered,
It seems to be different every day right now.
well,
Yes.
we're probably gonna have to
No.
Brian,
do some,
I've talked to a few people in doing the story, and they're really not sure. They were waiting for permits to come back from the state, for some of the things they're doing. But there will be 2 lanes one way for a while and 2 lanes the other way. In the morning, when you have school buses going to Steelton, you're gonna have a mess through there. And they already know that.
Thank you.
just,
Can I ask a
and now we know that. Go ahead.
Can we come up with anything to incentivize people to come on board for bus drivers and get through that 33-month training period?
So we actually talked about that, what, an hour ago? And we're gonna call around and ask, because it's a weird situation, because, you know, a lot of places that do that, when they say paid training, it's like 6 months into the job, you stay for 6 months, you know, because if we pay people, you know, we want them to stay around, and we're trying to make sure that we have our bases covered on that. We don't want to pay people to get a CDL with us and then not be with us anymore, so.
So we could possibly offer some type of payment along with,
We've actually seen other counties doing it, so we're gonna do some more digging on exactly what they do, and maybe if the layout is the same. You know, we've got a lot of oil and gas trucks that some of our drivers have gone to, so we just have to make sure that we don't pay for the training and then not.
We don't want to create another problem while solving a problem.
like a sign-on bonus with an agreement to stay with us for a period of time. Is that?
We're gonna have to see what everybody else is doing, just because if another county's doing it, they've obviously done some research, well, or maybe they haven't. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes
Okay.
counties just do things and it's okay till somebody says something.
Thank you.
Okay, I also, Mr. McPherson's gonna talk about, our vacancies and how well we're doing so far.
Okay, well, I'm happy to report that if I was buying cases of water, that I could get multiple representations out of one case of water. We are riding, and hear me all the way out, we're riding between 9 and 10, and you're going, Ben, how could you not know? Elementary numbers, if you go over 1, all of a sudden you need another teacher, and we're teetering, and I think we'll be at 10. Only 2 of those are at the high school level. We're looking for a driver's ed teacher, and I believe I have 1 special ed teacher. Yes. And we're back and forth with whether we need that, and those numbers change sometimes on the daily. We talk a lot about what we need and what we don't need. And of those 9 or 10, 3 of them we have a substitute secured right now, and 2 of those substitutes are going to pursue alternative certification to become certified.
Good.
So we're in a much better spot. If we're still running the same configuration as last year, we'd be looking for at least 10 more high school teachers right now, based on folks who have left that we've been able to, look at how their jobs worked. So we're in a much better spot. I remember sitting here last year with a case of water in front of me, and it was pretty scary. So we've gone from like 25 to almost single digits right now. Special education, that's where we're having the worst time finding people right now.
If somebody's in college and they're gonna finish up like at the end of the semester,
So we do talk with, we can't, I don't think we can go out of state with that. But we have had what they call clinical teacher of record with Fairmont and West Liberty so far with success, as long as they feel the student's okay and that we're okay with it. Everybody kind of has to agree on that. We've picked up some good folks that way. It's just a matter of whether they're ready to do that or not. I think we have a few folks out of state who will graduate in December who may have special ed degrees, which will work out we'll have to bide our time in the meantime, but there's still some folks out there.
okay, thank you. Anything else?
That's all, thank you.
Okay. Okay, number 4, superintendent's recommendation for approval of minutes from the regular meeting, July 29th, 2025. Do I have a motion? It's been moved by Mrs. Nice. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Mitchell. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Under personnel matters, before we vote on this, the second one down, Denise Poling, should have June 30th, 2025, or scratched out. Her date is August 8th, that's listed on there also. I think that's the only one. Okay. So under personnel matters, we have retirements, resignations, professional personnel, service personnel, extracurricular. Do I have a motion for approval of the superintendent's recommendations as outlined under personnel matters? It's been moved by Mr. Glasscock. Is there a second? Seconded by Mrs. Nice. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Under routine matters, we have release from Wetzel County Schools, 22 students. Request to attend Wetzel County Schools, 3 students. We have 3 out-of-state trips. Do I have a motion for approval of superintendent's recommendations as outlined under routine matters?
So moved.
Okay, it has been moved by Mrs. Nice, seconded by Mrs. Mitchell. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Treasurer's report.
I'm asking for approval for item A for approval for payment of bills for the month of July, which you have in your packet. Also, item B, I do have a budget supplement for you to approve tonight. Hopefully, the total of that is $507,026. I'd like to read through a few of those because we're really excited with some of the donations that we received from the community and the state as well. Truancy diversion program, is it our second year of that, third year of that? That's the probation officer in our school where we get some funding from the state through that, so that's $33,000. Drafting and design at the tech center, we got a $2,500 or $2,600 grant from the state for that. We've been doing this since we started the math and English program out at the tech center. This program started under Governor Caperton, I believe, that we can get some additional funding to fund math and English at tech centers, and it's working for our county. That's $174,761 we're getting from the state to cover those costs. Early literacy grant, $36,050 that we get every year from the state. And then we have several unrestricted local grants here. Antero Foundation generously gave $25,000 for the Wetzel County Tech Food Trailer. Williams Energy, through the Tulsa Community Foundation, gave some money to Payton City Elementary for Project Lead the Way in the amount of $5,000. Hope Gas, Valley High School, Magnolia High School combined back to school bash, which went off. They donated $1,500 to that. A&A Supply also donated $100 to that back to school bash. We're always appreciative of that. The Axe Charitable Mission donated some money to communities and schools with a total of $7,000 in the Martinsville School. The way that program's working. Glenda Tallman also donated towards the Martinsville School $500 towards communities and schools. Always appreciative of the assistance that we give. We can do some things with donations that we can't necessarily do with taxpayer dollars that help benefit the students, so that's always good. And then we received a state grant for CPR instruction. It's per West Virginia Code 18-5-51, $765 to go towards that. There's a special education grant, the LEA Strive grant that Ms. Hogan was working with and was able to obtain $7,000 there. And then finally, I'm asking for approval for grant number 1. There's another $130,000 grant coming from the state for communities and school to pay for those positions. But this is the first grant, $213,750 to help cover the cost of the positions that we put in place for that. So that's all that I'm asking for this evening.
That's wonderful.
That's it.
Good news there. Okay, so then do we have a motion to approve for payment of the bills for the month of July 2025 and approval for any transfers or increases in budget? We have this money. Okay, do I have a motion for approval?
I move to approve.
It's approved. Motion by Mrs. Nice, second.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Mitchell. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, next thing listed is on the first and second reading of the revised and deleted Wetzel County policies. I think we need to look at the ones that are on first reading separate from the ones that are on second reading. Let's see. So let's look at the first one that's on second reading, technology and internet by employees. That is GBEE. We have a lot of policies. Okay, so does anybody have any discussion on acceptable use of technology, internet by employees? I have one. I've gotten a few calls on that it lists employees and what they can and can't use. You can't use it during instructional time, you can't use it, be using a cell phone or anything when you're supervising. But the only question I've received is on the smartwatches for the teachers, for when they're on lunch duty or recess duty outside. I've had people question, like, can't they have those on then?
They can.
Not during the duties. That'd be supervision, but during their lunch and plan, they could.
Smartwatches?
I think we
We call
discussed
it-
that if it was being used as a watch, we were okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then do
To
we
tell
need to
time.
fix that on there? That's what it was gonna be for, like if you're outside at recess, can you have your smartwatch on so that you can see what time it is to go inside?
To check the time, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, we already explained that to the schools.
that's okay then.
Yeah, they can use
Okay.
it to check time. They can't be texting on the internet, things of that nature.
Okay, that
Some
was,
smartwatches monitor blood sugar levels.
And we have that in the policy as
yeah,
well.
that's in the policy, yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, so we're okay then that they can use it when they're out at recess to check time and
Yes.
whatever. All right, thank you. All right, so that's that one. Let's look at the next one, the dual credit policy. Does anybody have any questions on that one? Nope, okay. On the student cell phone policy and electronic device policy, any questions on that? I have one, sorry. We know about 612, you listed all that, you listed all the things that would be the occurrences, and then you listed the K-5 things that they break but do they have the same rules as since they don't have yonder bags, I just wondered.
The consequences and violations are a little bit different if they're in grades 6 through 12
Okay,
versus pre-K through 5.
right,
Okay, and then the yonder bags, middle school and the high school, most of our schools use the yonder bags. High school, all of them, in the middle schools, I believe all of our middle schools are. When they get to a certain grade level though, they may have like pouches where they put them in instead of the yonder bag pouches in the classroom and that sort of thing.
okay. I just wondered, I knew we had, what would happen if they did use them when they shouldn't be, but I didn't know what the
Right.
regulation
I
was.
think it's interesting to note that I read a story on Metro News about a county that was considered to be way ahead of this because they had a policy a year ago, and I think we've had a cell phone policy for 15 years.
15 years. And actually, Mrs. Fawn, if you look at the last sentence on page 1 on the revision, it says these locking storage devices will be provided by the schools to the students for grades 6 through 12.
Right,
So
that's
the
what I
yonder
saw.
bags would be for 6
I knew
through
there
12.
was 6 through 12,
Yeah.
but I didn't know how you
Below
knew
that-
if K through 5 broke the policy, because
Yeah.
it wasn't listed. Okay, so let's look at those 3 policies then, since they are on second reading. Do I have a motion to approve those 3 policies?
Can employees wear a smartwatch
Yes,
anytime,
yes.
just not use it at the specified time?
They can't use it as a smartwatch
Right,
when they're, instructing or during time of supervision. But they can check their time, and then when they're at, having their own personal lunch or playing period or something like that, they can use their devices.
right, because I think there was a misunderstanding about that particular section.
The principals will make sure all their staffs know that as they come back to work today. That was their first day back. They'll make sure they all know that.
But they'll be able to check the sugar and diabetes
Yes.
at any time.
Yes.
Mr. Harvey.
There's a medical exception for that, just like there is for the student side.
Okay.
Okay. So do I have a motion then to approve on second reading GBEE, IKC, and JI?
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved by Mrs. Mitchell and seconded by Mr. Costello. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, so now we're on to the ones that are on first reading. And the first one there is JM, selection of high school valedictorians and salutatorians, and that's to delete that one. And then we move on to IKA, assessment and reporting systems policy. And the third one is on school visitors. Is there any discussion on those?
I believe revising IKA to what Ms. McLean addressed would be a good idea.
So remember, the deletion of that one, it's because in another policy, we have the high honors, so we'd have to actually revise that
That
other
policy.
policy. So
That is okay.
It's revise IKA, delete JM.
Oh, I see.
So to answer what Mr. Caslow was talking about with Ms. McLean's presentation earlier on, yeah, we actually discussed that. That was, those 3 names or classifications, highest honors, high honors, and honors, that's not new, that's been in policy for several years. At that point in time, those 3 names were chosen to actually be separate, to make it be separate from the college system, but it's the same thing, just whatever you're calling it.
Could it not be summa cum laude, parentheses, highest honors, magna cum laude,
It could be, yeah,
high honors,
yeah,
And that way it would take care of people understanding, without using the Latin words.
yeah.
They could understand and have it listed the same way.
That was part of the discussion several years ago about the Latin words, would everybody understand,
Right.
so it was put in this way, but yeah, absolutely can be.
So could we bring that one back
Sure.
with those, or can we amend it now? Or do you want to discuss it first?
Well, this is on the first reading, so next time he
So
could
the
come back.
second reading.
Okay.
Yeah, he could come back
Yeah,
with the
we can
changes.
move, okay, we can move for this all to be approved on first reading, and, then next time we can see what you guys
It
think.
would have
Sure.
the changes, because it's what we did before on that one policy.
So for right now, on those 3 that are on first reading, do I have a motion to approve them on first reading?
Would we approve this one on first reading if we don't like the way it's worded?
Well, then they come back with
You
a
can, then
second
we'll
way
change it
amended.
for the second.
Yes. Okay, I'll make the motion to go ahead and approve it as written right now on first reading. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Mrs. Fawner, seconded by Mrs. Nice, to approve them on first reading, and that's JM, IKA, and KK. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Is there any chance that we could recognize Mr. Harwick, who came a
I
little
think
bit
that's a
late?
good thing to do right now.
So we had a third teacher who did his AP certification in chemistry for us this
Yay.
summer, Mr. Harwick. And we're so very proud of you. be able to offer our students going forward is just amazing. So we do really appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I actually had a lot of fun at the class, so.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, number 7, discussion and possible action on the superintendent's recommendation that the board purchase certain real property totaling approximately 85.39 acres on which to build a new school.
Move for executive session.
Mr. Castelo moves for executive session. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Nice. All those in favor of going to executive session to discuss this, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously, and we will go into executive session for property motion per West Virginia Code 6-9A-4B-9 to discuss financial property matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property or advanced construction planning. What's that?
I was just gonna say, who all's going to this?
Well, all of us, and you, could you be with us too?
I do have Mr. Baker from Thrasher.
Oh, yes, oh, definitely.
And the time.
Okay, yes, I'm gonna say. Okay, we're going to executive session at 5:56. Call the regular session back to order at 6 o'clock. It was moved in executive session by Mrs. Nice and seconded by Mrs. Mitchell to come back to regular session, and everybody agreed, and that was at 5:59. So we're now back in regular session at 6 o'clock. So this is item 7, discussion and possible action on the superintendent's recommendation that the board purchase certain real property totaling approximately 85.39 acres on which to build a new school. I move, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I make the motion to move forward with this purchase.
All right, so, I had a little more detail, you want me to go ahead too?
Oh, you can.
That in accordance with the purchase agreements we have examined at this meeting, the board purchased the approximately 85.39 acres referenced in those agreements for the grand total sum of $4,070,000. So that's my motion, and you're
I will second
seconding it. It's been moved by Mrs. Fawner, seconded by Mrs. Nice. Is there any further discussion? All those, go ahead.
I just want to say that this is actually not centrally located when it comes to 100 and short line area, but Folsom and Smithville and in that area, and in the Payton City, Payton Fork and all those, out in Proctor, it's definitely not. So,
Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
no.
No.
Okay, motion carries 3-2. So it passes. All right. Number 8, board member committee reports.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
Okay. Nobody has any? Anybody?
Well, just there's a lot of things going on out at the fair, seeing a lot of the 4-H'ers, their projects, and everybody coming together out there. That's all the extension office committee, a lot of familiar faces. So far so good out there.
Good, good. Okay, we already did delegations, so number 10, other items.
Okay, real quickly, Ben is on this as well. He has spearheaded our data notebooks with Mr. Houston and Mrs. Chambers, so Ben.
So we, and you remember this, Mrs. Fawner, from sitting in the cafeteria at New Orleans Old School. So we were chatting at a staff meeting about data, and realized that we maybe gotten away from a centralized system of looking at our test data. We kind of had that whenever we switched from West Test to the current, the GSA. And it turns out that with a little bit of work and finding an old hard drive, I found some of the stuff we used all those years ago, and it still works. So we're going to get back to using that and picking a couple standards, making so we don't. It's easy to get lost in everything. I mean, some of you who were at the retreat, that's a lot of data to look through, and it's a system we can get down to looking at one thing at a time, so that our folks can really focus.
Countywide.
Yeah,
We're all going to do it the same way.
So it's exciting. It took me back 15 years to Valley High School days when we analyzed data in the same way. So it's exciting.
Thank you so much.
Do you have anything else?
Nope, that's all.
Okay. Then the date and time of the next meeting is August 26th, regular meeting at the county office at 5:30 p.m. If there is nothing else, do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Castello. Is there a second?
Second.
You two keep doing that. And a second by Mrs. Mitchell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, because there weren't any nays. And we are out at 6:04.